Hello, in this video I'm going to be walking you guys through my first ever roll of film. I think as an animator I'm quite used to planning a lot, going through several different stages of planning when I make something. So I'm trying to pick up photography so I can learn to let go, take photos on the fly, learn to improvise. Hopefully learning that in photography will influence my work as an animator. Part of the allure of film to me is that you take all your photos and then you don't see them until you get them developed. You can't look back through them instantly, delete the bad ones, keep the good ones. You kind of have to trust that your roll is going to have some good images in it. So I want to look at all of my images and react to them candidly. So it's going to be the first time you see them, but it's also going to be the first time that I see them. I will admit that I have seen the thumbnails though, and I do know that some of the images are pretty blown out, unrecoverable, but it's okay. I'm still going to go through and look at them all. Let's give it a look. It's nothing, but somehow even the noise is beautiful. Photo number 2. It obviously is a bit sad. A lot of digital artists kind of strive to make their work feel more grainy and more physical and less digital. So even though I don't have any photos here, I won't let this beautiful grain go to waste. This is photo number 3. Yeah, like I said, even the grain is beautiful. I'd love to know how or why these dark black circles and smears were created. Photo number 4. More of the same. 5. Finally we're getting some kind of an image. What are we on now? Photo number 6. More of the same. Number 7. More of the same. I'm still blown away by the beauty of the grains though. I don't know, it almost looks like there's life in here. It's like looking at the surface of a pond. Lots of tiny little bugs swimming around, leaving their trail. I definitely won't let this beautiful texture go to waste in my art. It's still the same. At least we can see more trees here. This one looks like it almost could have been a decent photograph. The photos are becoming more clear. This one feels haunted. Even without this ray of light, I don't think it would be a very good photo. This one's my first with any clarity at all. Photo of my girlfriend on the bus. It's okay. This kind of shot is typical. Compositionally, it's okay. It could be interesting if I cropped it. I do like that ball floating at the top of the frame though. It's an interesting piece of design, as well as the light hitting those chairs. A blurry photo. It represents a waste of potential, a beautiful moment squandered. I think every day there are millions, billions of beautiful moments that are never seen, let alone captured. I think it's a waste of time to worry about missing them. It's okay. A mediocre image, but at least it's in focus. More mediocrity. Underexposed too. Have to flip this one. The composition is flat. I like the hits this little brick fence. I like how layered it is in between the houses. Lots of little shapes densely flowing into each other. Another attempt at some kind of long exposure. It looks interesting. The car's blurred. She's waiting to cross the road. It's too bad I didn't have a tripod or something. She's so blurry as well. Maybe that adds to it. It's almost an interesting image. More of the same. I don't know if this one's better or worse. It's more overexposed for sure. I think I held the shutter down for longer. But I'm just as shaky. I think people will call me too sentimental or biased, but looking at these images on my screen, it just... Even if the image itself maybe isn't that great, it just awes me that this image exists physically, literally with grains of silver. It's pure magic. Hey, that's a nice photo. What better thing is there than a nice photo of your girlfriend smiling? Obviously, the allure of this image is the idea of a nice view behind a fence. It's missing something. I like the bright white sunlight reflecting off this building on the left, as well as the sky reflecting off the river. But it just feels empty. Here I was trying to take some more long exposure shots, tracking the people down the subway, going to the train. I was struggling a lot with my 100 ISO film. Every day was cloudy, so I thought that I had no other choice but to just start experimenting with my long exposure. And I guess that's what this is. It's an experiment. Next. The same thing. I was seeing if I could get a bunch of people walking past as this guy was kind of standing there with his bike, but the exposure was so long that you can't see any of the people at all. It's interesting how that works. I remember this being such a busy day. Hundreds of people about to walk down that staircase. And I thought by exposing the frame for longer, I'd capture more of them, and I'd be able to see all of those hundreds of people walking down the stairs at once like ghosts. But instead, opening the shutter for longer just kind of makes them fade away. Another mediocre photo, but a good learning experience. I think the 100 ISO film is not for me. I need a quicker shutter speed or a steadier hand. Next image. I don't even know what I was going for here. This one's okay. Still not the best. I took three photos of this fish tank, all quite long exposures. It was quite dark in the room. I do like the scene. The fishing couple here, her hand in the tank, the plant, the record. It's nice. Let's see if my next one of this scene is any better. Well, it's just my luck. It is a little bit better. I like it. Leaning on her side. There's definitely not much, if at all, going on the top of the composition or on the sides. Definitely could do with a bit of a crop in. I think this might be my first decent photograph. Hopefully there are more of those, but I don't actually think there are that many photos left in the reel. Shame. This one's not quite so stable. I must have bumped the tripod. Here we are. Back to taking mediocre photos. This one could be interesting. I like the way the bridge curves around and kind of helps framing it, pointing at the back of this dude's head. If only I had more stability. You know, I take it back. It's not so mediocre. It's okay. I like the framing. I like one guy looking out the window, one guy looking down into his lap. The bridge helps. It frames them nicely. This one's just lame. I don't even know what I was going for here. This one turned out okay, to be honest. I was really expecting something horrible. Seeing these two kids hop on the back of the tram. I thought I have to get that photo, so I chased them down. And the tram started moving away. So I kind of just had to take my 2 photos. I didn't have any time to frame them up or any time to think. And that definitely comes across. Because they're wearing the black hoodies. They don't stand out too much and you can see them kind of fading away into the background. Especially the second kid. You can barely even tell that he's there. But it's okay. Half decent photo. It could be decent if I had a steadier hand. We're getting to the end of the roll here. The next few photos are at a Palestine rally. I really like the image of this man smoking, looking unimpressed as this rally was happening in front of him. The light hitting his back and everything. I thought it was a nice frame, but it didn't turn out quite like I imagined. I think the person in front of him is a little bit more in focus than he is. Sad. Next image. This is another one that I think was better in my head. Protesting outside of Parliament. I like the idea of the Stop Bombing Hospitals poster being held up in front of the Australian flag, but because of the way the wind's blowing, and I guess the photo being in black and white as well, you can't really tell it's the Australian flag at all. But hey, at least I'm in focus on this guy, and at least the photo has a decent message. Which isn't really thanks to me, the photographer. It's more thanks to this man here. This is my last photo. And not really a great one to end it on. Could be a powerful image if these 2 ladies happen to be in focus. That's that. That was genuinely a really valuable experience. I have about 10 photos that I bothered to edit, which you're seeing now. Just really simple edits, mostly crops. Some really light work with the pushing and pulling of the tones. I think as I was live reacting to them, I was being quite harsh. That photo of the man on the train, and the man smoking by the protest, and the 2 men on the train under the bridge. I do think that a good intention was there and good moments were there. I just have to figure out how to fiddle with the settings a little bit more. I'll get there eventually. There's not much else to say, I think. See you later.